Diddy's empire is falling apart fast. Every brand that once stood beside him has now turned its back. The FBI has seized his private jets, and even his mansions are no longer his. His income? Gone. Just like that. Now, panic is written all over his face. His revenue has crashed to zero, and his legal team? They've just filed for bail for the 5th time. The clock is ticking. Can Diddy escape jail before he loses everything? Or is this the final chapter of a once mighty empire crashing into silence?
Nah, Diddy's in a tricky situation.
Boy, that's the understatement of the year.
Yeah, I think it's over.
You think it's over?
I think it's over for him as like a figure in entertainment.
Right. But do you think it's over as him as far as like he gets a cell right next to R. Kelly?
Declare right here over these digital airwaves of YouTube that the career of Sean P. Diddy Combs, as we know it, it's over.
Just before the storm hit, Diddy was flying high, the second richest man in hip-hop. His empire was worth over $1 billion, backed by more than a dozen thriving brands. He wasn't just rich, he was powerful. He rubbed shoulders with billionaires like Jay-Z and Mark Cuban. His influence reached far beyond music. Even the mayor of New York, Eric Adams, honored him, handing him the key to the city, just weeks before everything fell apart. No one saw the crash coming, but now that billion-dollar kingdom is hanging by a thread.
2020, y'all. Yeah. And it's different than when it was 2016. You know, the game has been elevated. As we can tell, there's no expense being spared. We had a black billion.
He already has the keys to some pretty exclusive places, and now Sean Diddy Combs can add New York City to that list. It's Diddy Day in the city. Videos have been playing on the Jumbotron for TSX Broadway, and the crowd waited. Then around 11:30, the doors opened for the mayor and the artist.
The bad boy of entertainment is getting the key to the city from the bad boy of politics.
I want to thank y'all for this honor and just recognizing me being from New York, giving me the key to the city. Diddy finally has the key to the city.
Diddy's empire is falling to pieces. His companies are losing money fast. The brands that once stood by him, gone. They've all pulled away, trying to avoid the fallout. Even the key to New York, the symbol of his status, was taken back after his arrest. Now, the same people who once called him family are ghosting him. They're protecting their names, their image, their money. And Diddy, he's watching it all slip through his fingers.
Key to the city at the request of Mayor Eric Adams. The Harlem native was awarded the key last September, but returned it on June 10th.
All right, so let's get right into it. Check this out. This guy, Diddy, when you look at his net worth, 2022, he's a billionaire. Oh, we hear it, we see it all over the place. Today, net worth roughly $300 million, $400 million.
Weeks after Diddy's downfall began, Mayor Eric Adams was arrested too, caught up in a corruption scandal. But that's just the surface. Behind the scenes, every bond Diddy had was business, not friendship, not loyalty. Even Jay-Z, the man many believed was his closest ally, stayed silent. Not a word, not a statement. Not even a post during the entire trial. When the walls closed in, Diddy found out who was real and who was just there for the money.
Really feel, right? Other than him just being a freak. I don't know how you get in that position and do all of this wild. It just leads me to believe you don't have no real friends around you. Well, because if you're worth $1 billion and you're the guy that has all of these different people employed, like literally you're the reason all of this stuff is happening. All of these people have jobs.
Big breaking news tonight, and for the first time in the history of New York City, a sitting mayor has been indicted for crimes. ABC News reporting that Mayor Eric Adams has been indicted by a federal grand jury. We do not know yet the exact charges. Federal authorities have been investigating Adams and members of his staff, issuing subpoenas for documents and...
Diddy thought the spotlight would protect him forever, that his power and his rich friends would shield him from the consequences. Back in 2007, Diddy made a major deal with liquor giant Diageo to promote Ciroc vodka. That partnership made him over $400 million and launched him into billionaire status. But behind the scenes, things got messy. Diddy allegedly tried to cut Diageo out and take full control of Ciroc. That's when they dropped him. Just a few months later, Diddy's being sued. Was it all just bad timing or the fallout of a plan gone wrong?
It kind of fit my brand. My brand, I was known as the king of celebration, the king of parties, and I wanted something that was luxurious and aspirational, and I saw an opportunity in the ultra premium sector of vodka. I was naturally a vodka drinker, and I knew about Ciroc, and I knew that it at the time it wasn't, people weren't really connecting with it, with the messaging. And so I proposed to Diageo. Maybe we enter a partnership, let's see how it goes. I told them these astronomical numbers that I felt I could hit, and
you hit them.
I hit them. We take a lot of pride in the way that we have marketed and the success we've had, but we also take a lot of pride in the responsibility, awareness aspect that we've brought to the industry.
The fall is complete. Diddy has lost it all. His brand deals, his private jet, and now even his mansion is up for sale. He's been forced to hand over his passport. His career in hip-hop, finished. Insiders say the legal bills are draining him dry. And with the FBI seizing his assets, Diddy no longer has access to his own bank accounts. It gets darker. The same mansion and plane he once flaunted, they were reportedly used during his crimes. His private jets, worth tens of millions, were allegedly involved in trafficking minors. Now, those planes sit in FBI custody. And Diddy, he's running out of time and out of money.
All I know is that good attorneys charge a lot per hour. We know that they have a big case ahead of them. They also have a lot of those civil trials.
I had a big year this year. His $60 million private jet has already been sold. The snazzy plane, sports cars, mansions from LA to Miami and the Hamptons, $1 million in jewelry and over $20 million in top-of-the-line art, including works by Andy Warhol. That's just a short list of Diddy's physical wealth. But now, with his legal nightmare getting even more frightening, Diddy put his Beverly Hills mansion, that was raided in March, on the market for $61 million.
If people don't want to touch anything with your name on it, you have to look at other tangible assets that you can sell.
And a Justice Department forfeiture action that could cost him his empire. An empire that prosecutors allege was built, at least in part, through a pattern of criminal activity, including alleged sex trafficking, drug distribution, and violence, all used to advance what they call a racketeering enterprise.
No one knows exactly how much of Diddy's fortune the FBI will seize, but one thing is clear, he won't have much left when they're finished. So far, he's already lost over $600 million, and he hasn't even been sentenced yet. By the time he walks out of that courtroom, if he ever does, there may be nothing left to come back to. No brands are returning his calls, no deals, no endorsements. Even worse, the same celebrities who once stood beside him have all vanished. Diddy's world isn't just crumbling, it's gone.
In an effort to protect what's left of his assets, Combs hired Stefan Casella, former deputy chief of the Justice Department's asset forfeiture and money laundering section, to fight the forfeiture action. If the jury finds Combs guilty, it will be up to them to determine how much of Combs' assets are subject to forfeiture. Anything forfeited after a conviction could be used to support alleged victims. Sean Combs denies all allegations. And to help us break down what's at stake, I'm joined by Jim Trusty. He's the former chief of the Department of Justice, Organized Crime and Gang Section. Jim, thank you so much for coming on today.
Sure, good to be here.
So, Jim, let's start with the forfeiture. This isn't just about prison time anymore. Prosecutors want his empire. From what you've seen in the filings, how aggressive is this?
Well, it looks to be very aggressive, and there's a couple of reasons I say that. The first is it's very broadly worded. What they're talking about is essentially any property, real or personal, that could constitute either facilitating property or instrumentalities, they call it, or proceeds. And so that's kind of the whole business empire of P. Diddy being at risk. And that's the second part, which is
Diddy's legal war isn't just intense, it's expensive. One insider says his legal fees are stacking up fast. Nima Romani, a former federal prosecutor and founder of West Coast Trial Lawyers, says Diddy could end up spending over $10 million on his defense. That's right, 8 figures. In complex federal cases, top-tier defense attorneys can charge $1 million retainers just to get started. And Diddy? He's got a whole army of lawyers on the clock. When your net worth is around $1 billion and your life's on the line, this is the cost of survival.
P's the judge so he can help either with the sentencing or the fact the judge may release him. Now, based on all that and the programming and stuff like that, even if he does the program and stuff like that, the prosecution is still gonna say, yo, listen to me. Okay, he did the program, he did that, but this is how much time and more time than somebody else who had the same kind of crime, this is how much time they did. Because if you notice, the judge asked the defense for a record of court cases of people getting time for this. So you know what the defense gonna do? They're gonna come up the least amount of time that people got for this Mann Act charge. So now you got the prosecution. They're gonna put in the most time that somebody got who did this thing, for this, who did this crime. So now the judge gonna look at the programming, look at the pre-sentence report, and decide what kind of time he gonna give them. But all that programming that he doing, all criminals.
Right now, Diddy doesn't even know how long he'll be locked up. But he knows one thing. The longer he stays inside, the more money he bleeds. In a desperate move to clean up his image, Diddy has just entered a rehab program. His lawyers are now blaming it all on mental health, saying that's why he acted the way he did. That's their angle. But let's be real, Diddy hurt a lot of people. Blaming it all on mental illness, that's not accountability. That's deflection.
We're happy to have you back on the platform, man. October 3rd, man, we're gonna find out if Diddy do time or not. But I do want to ask you, how you feel about this program that he enrolled into?
Well, the programs that they put him in is because of he's getting close to release, or he may be released. So the Bureau of Prisons for the federal government has to give him a program based on his crime that he committed. You know what I'm saying? He did commit a crime. He is going to jail for committing a crime, but the time is going to be based on his pre-sentence report. So now, in the pre-sentence report that the probation officer, the federal probation officer do, they go by the history. If he had any criminal history, they go by the criminal history. They go by the history, the crime. They go by what the victim statements and all that. And they do this report that they submit to the judge.
Nobody's buying Diddy's act. The timing is just too perfect. His 5th bail request gets denied, and suddenly he wants to heal? Come on. This isn't about growth. It's damage control. A last-ditch effort to save himself. Diddy knows if he can convince the court he's changed, there's a chance he might get a lighter sentence. Maybe even skip prison entirely. But the public sees through it. The courts might not.
May learn this week if he will be released on bond while he awaits sentencing. His lawyers filed a request asking the judge to release Combs on $50 million bond. Combs was convicted earlier this month on charges of transportation to engage in prostitution, and he was acquitted of more serious charges of sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy. The government is expected to respond by this Thursday. Combs' sentencing is scheduled for October.
These are all the things you did even after you knew that we were going to be sitting right here together. You want to stay where you at until we figure out the sentencing.
All right. Well,
when you ask what Diddy should do if he comes home, He should do the work on himself. That's what he should be doing. He should be going to do some deep, intense therapy. He needs to find God. That's what he needs to be doing. He shouldn't be worried about no career. He shouldn't be worried about trying to get back professionally. He should be focusing on his personal life.
Diddy's legal team just filed their 5th bail request, and this time they're putting $50 million on the table. They've offered a bond package backed by his Miami mansion, full passport surrender, restricted travel, no phone or internet, and home detention with private security. No luxury, no freedom, just confinement with a price tag. It's the clearest sign yet. Diddy is desperate to get out.
Oh, Cassie, just go ahead and move out the country, baby. Pack little white guy up, get on out of here. We'll protect your family. Because if you think Sean and he done beat it, and you got 30 out of them, at the least, me personally, at the least, I would get your boyfriend beat up every time somebody see him. Like, I wouldn't have to be there. So I'm telling you, if I would do that, I don't know, you know Sean better than me. Cassie.
So you believe that Diddy, he'll try to harm Cassie if he get out?
I think so. I'm not trying to, man, it's hard because I don't know what Sean's getting out. I don't know what Sean is getting out of prison. I don't know if Sean is reformed. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if Sean gonna get out more arrogant now that you just beat the Fed. You see his kids dancing around, they don't look grateful. They look like, yeah, we gonna keep winning. That's not the attitude I would be giving. When I beat my case, when I walked out on my case, I dropped to my fucking knees. I didn't want to be around nobody. I'm happy as I'm not celebrating blowing up in the law face because I know I was just fucking crying, begging God. Nobody was in there with me. I was begging him. So how I look like to get out here and act like some macho hero, like I wasn't just being a little bitch?
Freddie P just issued a chilling warning to Cassie. Leave the country before it's too late. He claims people close to Diddy are already planning retaliation, and Cassie is their main target. Freddie says if Diddy can't get to her directly, he'll go after the ones she loves, her family, her friends, her inner circle. This isn't just paranoia. Diddy has a long track record of using money, power, and fear to silence people. And now, according to Freddie, Cassie's life is in very real danger.
Go to prison. And if you do, it'll be for something very, very small. It wouldn't be nothing what the people think. I don't think he's going to go nowhere long. And at the same time, you got to look at it. The best witness they had is P.Diddy. P.Diddy been an informant for a very, very long time. And P.Diddy is getting ready to go to trial for the murder of Tupac. P.Diddy said it, everybody else know it. And P.Diddy says the money came from Puffy, to keep Tupac and myself. So if they really wanted Puffy that bad, P.Diddy would have put a deal with them, got on that stand, and broke it down. That'd have been the RICO right there. That'd have been...
Some believe Diddy might still have a life outside prison, that he could spin this chaos into a brand and sell it. But let's not get it twisted. There's no redemption here. Diddy ran an operation built on fear, control, and exploitation. For decades, you don't rebrand that. You don't rename trauma and call it growth. No one knows what will really happen when sentencing hits. Suge Knight claims Diddy is an FBI informant, and because of that, he won't serve real time. If true, Diddy could walk free with his planes, his money, even his mansions. Think about that. A man accused of trafficking and manipulation might walk away untouched just because he knows too much. The billion-dollar empire, the luxury, the global reach, all of it gone. Diddy's friends vanished. His brands gone. What's left is a trail of broken lives and unanswered questions. The 5th bail attempt, the $50 million offer, the sudden rehab move. It's all one story. A desperate man trying to rewrite his ending before the final page is turned. Want more deep dives like this? Hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Diddy will walk free? Or is this truly the end?